What's going on, NFL fans? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to break down every first round pick of the NFL draft. I'm going to give you my grades for each and every one of these picks. There's been a ton of surprises. A lot of crazy crap went down. Let's get into it. All right, the first pick, Caleb Williams. I give that an A. It's a no-brainer. They picked the best player in the draft. His escapability, that power arm, I love this pick. I give it an A grade. Next up, we have Jaden Daniels from LSU. Goes number 2 to the Commanders. In most of my mock drafts, I had Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders. He fits very well with the scheme that Cliff Kingsbury wants to run. I give this an A- grade. Really good player. Jaden Daniels does have some holes, though. They needed to make this pick. A- grade for me. Drake May to the Patriots. This is the first surprise of the draft. I honestly thought that the Patriots were going to trade down, acquire some picks, and build out their roster, but they think Drake May is the guy. He's actually a good body frame for playing in New England in that cold weather. He's a big, strong, physical player. I like Drake May. I'm in this B+, A- range. I think I'm going to lean towards B+, because I think for the long-term Patriots team, you wanted to trade down, maybe pick somebody else at the quarterback position, or just get a ton of good defensive players, build out that offensive line, and let Jacoby Brissett go at it for a year, and maybe readdress the quarterback position down the road, maybe in free agency or with another draft pick. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes number 4 to the Cardinals. This was the chalkiest pick of the draft. I give this an A- grade. Marvin Harrison is a very, very good player. I like Malik Neighbors better. Personally, that's why I gave it the A- grade. Marvin Harrison is a great player. I just think Malik Neighbors has a little bit more upside. All right, Joe Alt going to the Chargers. The Chargers really need wide receivers. They could have went Malik Neighbors here, but they chose to build through the trenches. They go Joe Alt, number 5. I give this an A grade. Joe Alt's the best tackle in this draft. They need to build out that offensive line first. I expect them in day 2 and day 3 to add a lot of offensive power at the wide receiver position, the running back position, revamp that offense a little bit. Malik Neighbors goes number 6 to the Giants. This is a great pick for the Giants. This is Daniel Jones' last chance to prove that he's a good quarterback. If you can't make it work with Malik Neighbors, my number 1 wide receiver on my big board in this year's draft, then you don't deserve to be a starter in this league. Another superstar from LSU goes to the Giants. I give this an A grade. I really like this pick. Next up, J.C. Latham from Alabama, the offensive tackle. This kind of surprised some people as well with this pick. Joe Alt went number 5, so they thought J.C. Latham was the best tackle available in the draft. I tend to agree with that. I like this pick. J.C. Latham's a very good player. I give this an A- grade. They need help in a lot of places, but tackle, he's probably going to play right tackle. He's not going to be a left tackle at the NFL, I don't think. I don't think he's quick enough off the ball to be a left tackle, but he can be a solid right tackle for the Titans at number 7. And number 8, the most insane pick of this draft, Michael Penix Jr. goes to the Falcons at number 8, the quarterback from Washington. I like Michael Penix Jr., but at number 8, when you just paid Kirk Cousins $100 million of guaranteed money, yikes. That's an F grade for me. Just because of the number 8 spot. You could have went with Rome Odunze. You could have went Olu Fashanu. You could have went Brock Bowers, Fuaga, Layatu, Byron Murphy, Dallas Turner. A lot of better players. And who knows where Michael Penix Jr. would have went in this draft. Maybe trade back. I hate this pick for the Falcons. The reason I hate this pick is because Michael Penix Jr. isn't J.J. McCarthy. He's not 21. He's 24. By the time Kirk Cousins is gone, he's going to be 26 or 27. I hate this pick. F- if that was possible. Then we go Rome Odunze from Washington going to the Bears. I give this a B+ grade. I like Rome's game, but they're going to have a lot of players that need the ball. DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Jarrett Everett, Cole Knapp, they have a lot of mouths to feed, and this is just adding to those mouths. I think they should have went defense here. B. I'm actually going to go down to a B. Now at number 10, there was a trade. The Vikings trade up from 11 to 10 to get J.J. McCarthy. I guess some other teams were talking about trading up with the Jets. That's the only reason why the Vikings would go from 11 to 10. Their hand got forced, so they had to give up some draft capital to get their guy, J.J. McCarthy. I like this pick. He's young. I don't know. We'll see. There's not a lot of tape on J.J. McCarthy, guys. Not a lot of tape. We'll see how it plays out. I give this a B grade. B could go up to A- grade. The Vikings need a quarterback. They got their quarterback. I like this pick. And then 11, Olu Fashanu from Penn State goes to the Jets. I love this pick. I'm glad the Jets didn't do something stupid and take like Brock Bowers. You need to protect Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can make it happen. There's a lot of wide receiver depth in this draft in the second round. Go get one of those wide receivers in round 2. I love this pick. A- grade. Olu Fashanu from Penn State goes to the Jets. Bo Nix to Oregon at number 12. I give this an A- grade. The Broncos have a lot of holes to fill, but I like Bo Nix. He's a little bit older. His mindset is questionable. He had a tough time at Auburn dealing with the media. That's why he transferred to Oregon. There was some, question marks on Bo Nix's game. Can he be an elite guy? But I think he has the traits to work well with Sean Payton. I like this pick, B+. Brock Bowers, number 13, to the Raiders. I think this is a bit of a stretch here. I don't love this pick. There's a lot of really good defenders and offensive linemen on the board. They could have got Latu, Fuaga, Byron Murphy, Dallas Turner. Imagine him opposite Max Crosby. Quinyon Mitchell was still on the board. C grade for the Brock Bowers. I love Brock Bowers. I think he's a great player. But when building out an NFL roster, I don't know if taking a tight end at 13 is going to make your roster that much better. Then Fuaga, the offensive tackle, goes to the Saints. I like this pick, B+. I like Fuaga. Latu, edge defender, goes to the Colts. He was my number 1 player on the board on the defensive side of the ball, and he went number 1. 14 offensive players in a row got drafted. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Number 15, Latu. I give this an A- grade. It's only not an A because of those injury concerns he had earlier in college. It's a question mark for me. We'll see how that plays out over his career. Byron Murphy, the D tackle, goes to the Seahawks. I like that. Not a lot of depth at D tackle in my opinion, so I like this pick. B+ grade. Byron Murphy's a G. He's a monster, man. Position rank number 1, 14th overall prospect, 91 grade. He's a really good player. I'm a big fan of his. Dallas Turner going to the Vikings at 17. Another trade up. They traded with the Jaguars, who go down to 23. They flipped some picks. Yeah, the Vikings getting Dallas Turner and J.J. McCarthy. That's great. I love this pick. Trading up. Good move for one of the best edge players in this draft. 1A and 1B with him and Latu. I like this pick, A- grade. You had to give up some draft capital. I never loved that to move up 4 or 5 spots, but I like this pick. He's a G, man. 6'3", 247. I want to see him come into camp like 255, 260. And then Mims from Georgia. He didn't play a lot at Georgia. He only played like 6 or 8 games every year. But he has the best measurables at the tackle position in this draft. Like 90th percentile in every measurable. He's got like 36.25-inch arms. He's a beast too. He's like 300 plus pounds, 6'6". I like this pick. Jared Verse, the other good edge defender, goes to the Rams at 19. I like this pick. Jared Verse is a really good player. I give this a B+ grade. I like Jared Verse. The 3 edge guys, Latu, Turner, and Jared Verse, I originally had Jared Verse a solid number 3, but as the more tape I watched, he's just as good as those guys, 100%. Then the Steelers, they need offensive line help. This draft, I think the GMs did a really good job this year, drafting the good players. Not a lot of stretches. Some questionable picks, but like not anything super crazy. I love Troy Fontano, the guard. from Washington going to Pittsburgh. He can play tackle. He can play guard. He can probably even play center. I like this pick. Chop Robinson, to me, is a huge stretch. The Dolphins. Their GM there sucks. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I don't like his work there at all whatsoever. Chop Robinson didn't have a lot of production in college. He's got all the measurables in the world. But if you can't produce on game day, I don't care. I hate that pick. D+. Quinyon Mitchell to the Eagles. A+. For the Eagles, to get Quinyon Mitchell at 22 and not having to give up any draft capital is remarkable. Howie Roseman, good job, man. It's really hard to gauge where people are going to draft because everyone's so manipulative in this draft, right? So to be able to hold your stones, not give up any capital, and get your guy at your spot at 22, the best cornerback in this draft at 22, A+ grade. I love it. And now, I like this pick for Jacksonville. They got a great wide receiver. They traded back. They added draft capital. So this is an A- grade for me because they got draft capital and they got Brian Thomas Jr., who a lot of people really, really, really like. 4.3 speed. He's really tall, 6'4", I think. Very good player. And to me, this was the best pick in the draft, in my opinion, next at 24. So, the Detroit Lions saw that Terrion Arnold was going to go to the Packers. So they leapfrogged them, made a trade with the Cowboys, who picked at 29. They swapped picks, had to give up a little draft capital, but they knew Terrion Arnold from Alabama was most likely going to go to the Packers at 25. And Dan Campbell and the GM there were like, F this, man. We're going to give up some later round picks. I think it was a 3rd round pick. Move up a couple spots. And pick Terrion Arnold. Swipe the rug out from under the Packers. That's a gangster move. A+ grade. High fives to the Lions. Wow. So impressive. Adding Terrion Arnold might put them over the hump to actually make it to the Super Bowl next year. They're my Super Bowl pick for next year. Jordan Morgan goes 25. The offensive tackle to the Packers. Good player. They need offensive line help. I like Jordan Morgan. I don't love him. I think it was against Laiatu Latu where he got absolutely torched. Like, embarrassed bad. So, I don't know. I don't love that pick. C+. Graham Barton to the Buccaneers. I like Graham Barton because he can play tackle, he can play guard, he can play center. Very flexible player. They have him as a center here, but he played tackle at Duke. So he's a good player. I like Graham Barton. This is a B grade for me. Darius Robinson. They needed to go defensive side of the ball. They got their wide receiver at number 4, Marvin Harrison Jr. I like this pick, B+. Xavier, they traded up for Xavier Worthy. I hate this pick. Xavier Worthy's fast. He's 4.2 speed, unbelievable speed. He weighs 165 pounds. This is the NFL, guys. 165 pounds. Even Deshaun Jackson was like pushing 175, 180 pounds. If he's not Deshaun Jackson, he's a potential future Hall of Famer, then this is a terrible pick. They needed offensive line help desperately. There's a lot better wide receivers in this draft than Xavier Worthy. PFF had him the 14th best wide receiver on their board. I don't get it. I hate that pick. D+. Maybe they proved me wrong. I don't like him. I like Ricky Pearsall better. I like Ladd McConkey better. I like Xavier Legette better. I like all those guys better. The Cowboys take Tyler Guyton, who's a project at 29. He's probably not going to play right away. Maybe he earns it, but he'll probably be a swing backup. He needs to learn the position a little bit more at the NFL level. B-, C+. I'm going C+. I don't love this pick. They need offensive line help. They traded back instead of trading up to get a better player. I don't love this pick. Next up at number 30 is Nate Wiggins, the cornerback from Clemson, goes to the Ravens. I really like this pick. I'm going to give it a B+. He's one of my favorite cornerbacks in the draft. There's 3 guys I really liked. Wiggins, Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell. I like Mitchell the best. Him and Terrion Arnold are, 2A and 2B. Wiggins is faster. Terrion Arnold is a better player, like fundamentally, I think. But I think a B+ grade. Wiggins is a really good corner. He's got top line speed. If he can put on a little bit of weight, which I think he will because he's only like 21. And then 31, Ricky Pearsall from Florida. This is a B-plus grade. I love Ricky Pearsall. He's one of the best route runners. Got some of the best hands I've ever seen in college football. I think he's got like a 3% or less drop rate. Pearsall's a really good player. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. Look for one of them to possibly get traded in the next couple days. I doubt both of them are there in camp. That would be awesome if they were. To add Pearsall to that mix would be crazy for Brock Purdy. But I don't know if they'll all be there. B-plus grade for Ricky Pearsall going to the 49ers. And then the Panthers traded up into the first round to get a wide receiver, Xavier Legette. He's a beast, man. He's like a DK Metcalf prototype, big, strong, physical guy. Bryce Young needs all the weapons he can get in the Panthers organization. The cabinet is empty there, guys, for sure. All right, everyone, there are my grades for each of the 32 picks in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. Round 2 is today. I'm going to do more coverage on it. Make sure you tune in. Peace.